From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD PrimeTime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. It is Monday, and it is the week of Thanksgiving as well, too. So I know that a lot of folks are excited about getting a turkey on this week and everything like that. And we have ourselves a pretty good Monday night football game tonight, a rematch from last year that saw the Giants get a monster upset against the world champion Bucks. So Tom Brady is coming to see his kryptonite, pretty much with the Giants, because everybody knows that this is the one team that has always given Tom Brady many, many issues. So tonight probably won't be any different. I think that this will wind up being a really, really fun game because a lot of people are probably going to wind up having the Buccaneers as the downright just super favorite tonight. And, you can't tell them anything, you know what I mean, when it comes down to it. So pretty much this game will, to me, as I talked about on the show last week on the NFL Bet Exchange, I did let you guys know about the situation coming into the game. So when we see this Monday Night Football contest and everything like that, we have ourselves a Giants team that's 5-4 against the spread. They've won under in 6 out of 9 of their games. As an underdog, they're 3-5 straight up. But but against the spread, they're 5-3. And then on the road, they're 1-3 straight up, but 3-1 against the spread. And then when it comes to the over/under, they went over in 3 out of their 4 games on the road as well too. Now, versus the NFC, they are 2-4 straight up, 3-3 against the spread. And then when it comes to the over/under, they are 3-3, splitting in that category. Then you have a Bucks team that's has a losing record against the spread. They're 4-5, and then they've also went over in 6 of their 9 games this year. They're 6-3 as a favorite, 4-5 against the spread. And then at home, they're 4-0 straight up and 3-1 against the spread. And when it comes to overs and unders, they've went over 3 out of the 4 times that they've been at home. Now, they have scored 30-plus points in each home game this year as well, too. So that's something to look at as well, too, that, the Bucs are going to be coming in here ready to score some points, but the Giants' defense has stiffened up over the last month or so compared to what they were when they started the season. So I really do think that we're on to something big here, and I think that we can have ourselves a very, very entertaining game tonight. I don't see any upsets happening or anything like that, but this is the NBA. Anything can happen. We all know this. So, I really do look forward to it. I think that we will have ourselves a very, very good game tonight. So when you look at it, hopefully Daniel Jones can step it up big here, do something monster for his team tonight. But all in all, there's more pressure on the Bucks than there is the Giants at this point. The Giants are just going through the motions. They didn't have big expectations this year anyway, so they just going with the flow. So with the way that things have been working out in the NFL, everybody is on alert because there is no guaranteed victories. You saw yesterday the Titans lose to a Texas team that was absolutely dreadful for the last 8 weeks, but they come back around and beat a division rival. So, you have to be ready for these type of scenarios, these type of games, because we're at this point in the season where bad teams are getting desperate and good teams are getting real complacent. So it is what it is. And I think that once again, this game is going to look way better than it looks on paper right now. So there it is. There it is. Let's go ahead and talk about, and let me go ahead and give you guys the line real quick. You got plus 400 on the Giants tonight, minus 550 on the Bucks, 10.5-point spread to the Bucks, over under 49.5. All right. So let's have some fun with this one. And I don't expect a lot of scoring tonight. I really don't. And I know the Bucks have scored 30 plus points in each of their home games this year, but I just don't feel like the Giants are just going to be that much of a pushover, because they are dealing with people that are very aware of how Brady works. And I'm talking about Joe Judge, who was an assistant with New England while Brady was there. So, that's why you had them have such a good game against them last year defensively. And I think that it can be duplicated this year as well, too. All right. So the NFL playoff picture, from what I can see here, as I said before, we talked about it a few days back, but we had to go through Sunday first to see exactly where we stand at today. And after 11 weeks, the NFL playoff race is probably the most exciting I've ever seen it. I've never seen so many teams with 6 wins or better in a conference at this time of the year. So you have five. I'm just saying 5 6-win teams. Okay, you got 3 7-win teams. You have an 8-win team in Tennessee. Then you have 3 5-win teams as well too. And then you got Miami sitting here on the borderline, but Miami's pretty much done. That 1-7 start really messed them up, but them winning 3 games in a row, that's very impressive. And then when you look at the NFC has a more dominant stretch going. They got their teams are few and far between with the next team. But when you look at it, they have 6 teams here, well, at least 5 teams here that can already lock it in for the playoffs. But now it looks like those last 2 spots, they're going to be wide open, okay? Because you have Minnesota and New Orleans there at 5-5, and then you have San Francisco, a team that a lot of people have written off a few weeks back into the fold. Now San Francisco is at the 8th seed, is in the 8th hole right now, and then you have Philadelphia and Carolina. Those teams are 5-6, and then you have a Washington team that's just won 2 in a row. That's 4-6 right now. And then Atlanta is regressing a little bit. They were 4-4. They were in a playoff spot a few weeks back, but they're 4-6. And then you have a 3-6 Giants team. And both Chicago and Seattle are 3-7. So it's really anybody's ball game with these last 2 spots. You cannot cancel out Chicago and Seattle yet, specifically Seattle. I know Seattle's 3-7. They didn't look good yesterday, but they may make a big run here at the end of the year. They still got some time, but all in all, I think that we pay attention to San Francisco, Philadelphia, Carolina, Washington, and Atlanta as those teams that can possibly make a move towards these final 2 playoff spots, because the Rams should be a lock for that fifth hole. And pretty much right now, the way that things are looking for Tampa Bay, they shouldn't have an issue winning the South this year, because you don't have New Orleans is not going to get any better this year. I'm going to be dead honest with you. This team has lost 3 games in a row. They don't really have an answer at quarterback. They missed out on Cam Newton. They let him go back to Carolina. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So that's what they're dealing with at this time. And pretty much when I look at how this is setting up on the AFC side, I see a Browns team who's 6-5, and then you have an Indianapolis team that's 6-5, and then the Pittsburgh is 5-4-1. The Raiders and Broncos are both sitting at 5-5. Okay, and I think the Raiders and the Broncos both will be competitive, and they'll be a team that can spoil the fun for other teams trying to get into the playoffs. But I think that those 2 teams will probably miss the playoffs, and not by a lot, but they'll miss the playoffs. And surprisingly, Buffalo is actually in the 7 hole. They are barely in the playoffs right now. And really, if Pittsburgh would have won yesterday, they would have been out of the playoffs, because you have to understand Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker over them as well too. Then you have a Chargers team that that literally it doesn't matter if they lost 2 in a row or anything like that. They still find themselves in playoff position. They're in the 6 hole because you have to understand they started the season off 4-1, even though they haven't been as good as they were to start the year. They're still that good start has put them in place. And then Cincinnati, 6-4, big win over the Raiders. And as I was saying the other day, I said that this one right here, this one would cancel out one of these teams from getting to the playoffs. And Cincinnati got the victory yesterday. Now you have Baltimore, who got really lucky yesterday, 7-3 on the year right now. They are the 2 seed. Tennessee, I don't see them holding as the 1 seed without Derrick Henry there. I think that all in all, when it comes down to it, they'll probably flip-flop to probably the 3rd seed. Now, New England might be smoke and mirrors until they play Buffalo, to be honest with you, because people do not really understand that they haven't really played a really good team during this win streak that they've had, this 5-game win streak. They've played the best team that they played in that group was Cleveland. Everybody else was teams that they were supposed to beat. So, I think when the competition level goes up a little bit, New England will come back down to earth, to be honest with you. And I still favor the Bills over them in this race for the AFC East. I just think because all those years of the Bills being beat up by Tom Brady and knowing that they're not going against Tom Brady anymore, that should give them some confidence to go ahead and get a big win when they do play New England. So this is going to be huge, man. This is fun. The AFC is fun because you really don't know who the NFC North champion is going to be at this point. You got a huge game between the Browns and the Ravens coming up on Sunday Night Football. So, if the Browns are able to win that game, they go to 7-5, going to their bye. And then you got Baltimore 7-4. And that kind of makes a shift a little bit because then you have a Cincinnati team. If they win Sunday, they can go right into first place with a Baltimore loss because, they beat Baltimore already. So Baltimore doesn't want to fall 0-2 in divisional play. The Browns are 1-1 right now, and you have the Bengals who are 2-1 right now. So, you really do have to bear down and be ready for, a big time race. It's like a blanket finish at the track, man. I'm telling you. So this is going to be fun. And once again, also, you got to give major props to the AFC West. You have teams in you can't, the 2 teams are 5-5. Then you have a team that's 6-4, and you have a team that's 7-3. So it goes to show you that these teams, the first half of the season, have been very, very tough and very, very good. So it is what it is. With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When I get back, we're going to jump into the NBA, and then I got some tickets for you guys tonight and Monday in the NFL and the NBA. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Kappa, and I'll be right back at you.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Kappa, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
And if anybody saw the Laker game yesterday, it was pretty wild. I'm not gonna get in the state of the Lakers today. I don't think the Pistons deserve that much, time from me. The Lakers won a game that they were supposed to win. I heard coach say that this could change the tide of the season. Blase, blase, blase. Well, hopefully it can start changing the tide of how defense is going to get played. But all in all, the story of the game was a brawl that was kind of adverted. I think that a lot of the media outlets got a little more excited than they needed to. They said it was a brawl, but it really wasn't a brawl. It really was what you want to call an altercation. You know what I mean? Between two guys, and then one guy just kind of lost his mind. You know what I mean? So pretty much you got LeBron. LeBron sits up there. They're all trying to get a rebound. And when you get in a rebound, sometimes things get a little crazy. And so LeBron throws an elbow, it looked kind of like he was intending to do it, but we know LeBron doesn't intend to do anything, right? So pretty much he opens up Stewart, and the kid is pretty livid about it once he sees that he's bleeding. And then next thing you know, he's trying to start a all out, Royal Rumble with the Lakers. And seems like, and every Laker was ready to defend their superstar as well too. And then, it just was a funny situation because literally 20 years ago, almost to the day, or maybe 15 years ago, I can't remember the exact year, but it was the anniversary of the brawl at the with the Palace Malice. So the Malice at the Palace. So I don't think that was in good taste to try to reenact that and try to reignite it, and then try to absolutely instigate it once again, because that's one of the ugliest scenes in all of sports that anybody has ever been a part of. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that I thought that was in tacky taste the way that was approached. I think that they had everything well up under control. There was a fan that did try to come on the court, but thing is, though, they learned a lot from that day, to where once altercations like this happen, security is right there on the floor, cops are right there on the floor, and somebody who's holding a firearm is on the floor as well too. So they can make sure people can back right on up when they want to go ahead and jump on the court and get emotional with their team. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into NBA Monday night, though. That's what the main focus is right now. It's NBA Monday night. NBA Monday night is always a fun one. It's a moody day as well, too. So don't look at games and think that you have some type of lock and they doing good and all this other good stuff, because, a team will play on Saturday and look great and then play on Monday and look absolutely terrible. That's just how life is sometimes, right? So pretty much we get into our first game, and our first game is going to be the Hornets at the Wizards. The Hornets come in here as the dog at plus 140, and then you have the Wizards who are minus 165, rightfully so. Then 3.5 on the spread as well too. So they will have to go over 214.5 tonight as well too, if you're chasing the over under tonight as well. So when I look at my notes on this game, I look at here, that both these teams are in the Southeast Division as well too. And right now you have a very good Wizards team that a lot of people didn't see coming like this, but the Wizards right now are balling out, and the Wizards are actually the first place team in the Southeast as well too, with Charlotte being the third place team at 10-8 right now. So when I look at my notes for the game, you have a Hornets team that's won their last 5 out of 6 after losing 5 in a row to start the month of November. Now in the month of November, they are 5-6 straight up. Now against the spread, they're 6-5. They've went under in 6 out of their 11 games. That's crazy, because they were leading they're one of the top 5 teams in scoring in the NBA coming into the month as well too. And then against the division, they're 2-2 against the spread and straight up. Now on the road, they're 4-6 straight up, 5-5 against the spread, and they've split 5-5 over under on the road as well too. Now the Wizards have won their last 6 out of 8. Now they did start this month off a little down, but they picked it up, and now they see themselves right here, 11-5. winners of their last 6 out of 8, 6-4 in the month of November as well too. And then against the spread, they're 4-6, and then 2-8. They actually went under in 8 out of their 10 games this month as well too. Now against the division, they played 6 games. They're 3-3 against the spread and straight up. And then at home, they have one of the best home records in the league. They're 7-1 against the spread and straight up, and they're 3-5, and they're went under in 5 out of the 8 games at home as well too. So the Wizards get the thumbs up tonight. I think that they're in a good headspace right now. They got a good mix of young players and veterans, but not too many young guys. You know what I mean? And then Brad Bill is just an absolute superstar in this league. And then Spencer Dinwiddie is getting his due and getting his props as a very consistent player with this Wizards team, unlike when he was in Brooklyn, holding the team up for years and not getting any credit at all, and literally being the reason why guys ran to Brooklyn to become Nets. But, Kyrie didn't want him, so he had to go down the road to Washington. And it's funny because Kyrie's not even playing right now. So who's the joke on now? All right, so we move on to our next game, and that's going to be the Hawks and the Thunder. The Thunder are actually coming in this month doing very well. Now, the Thunder are 5-5 in the month of November. They dropped their last 4 out of 5. But when it comes down to the spread, they're 8-2. Now, when it comes over to the over and under, they've went under in 8 out of their 10 games. And then when it comes to their road games, they're 2-6 straight up on the road, 5-3 against the spread. Now, when it comes to the over under, they've went under in 7 of their 8 games. Now, playing against the East, they're 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread versus the East, and 1-3 over and under versus the East. And they recently covered against the East the other night when they played the Bucks. So that's where they got their first cover of the season at. Now, the Hawks come into this game, started off the month. They start off the month like no team wants to start off the month. They start off the month 1-6. They've won their last 4 in a row. They're 5-6 now against the spread and straight up in the month of November. Now, they have went under 6 out of their 11 games this month as well too. And then also they are 7-1 against the spread at home, and straight up. Now, when it comes to the over under, they've went under in 5 out of their 8 games. Now, against the West though, most of these were on the road too. They only played the West at home once. Now, they are 1-5 straight up versus the West, and that was a win over lowly New Orleans. They're 0-6 when it comes to the spread against the West. And then when it comes to over under, they've went under in 4 out of their 6 games versus the Western Conference. So when I look at this one, I had to ride the hot hand because they're not winning games, but they're covering games. They're keeping games close. And the Thunder are getting a big number tonight. And, the Hawks are just having big issues against Western Conference teams. And if you're having issues against teams like the Pelicans, you could have some issues against a team like the Thunder as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But this is going to be another really good game tonight. We'll see how it goes. But I like it. I like it a lot. So the Thunder pull into Atlanta tonight trying to get a monster upset, and Atlanta's trying to go ahead and win their 5th game in a row. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. And we move forward from there. So pretty much now we jump into another divisional game in the East, and this is going to be a Central Division game as well too, and this is going to be between the Bulls and the Pacers. The Pacers come in visiting the Bulls as the underdog tonight, plus 145. Bulls are minus 175 tonight as well too. So it looks like there's a lot of money going back and forth on the money line, because you have the Pacers in a spot where usually they'd be a plus 160 or something of that nature, being a 4.5 point spread. But there's money going in on their side as well, too, because everybody knows that these divisional games, especially in the Central, can go any way. Now, you have a Pacers team 7-11. You have the Bulls 12-5 on the year. And the Pacers come into this game 6-5 straight up in the month of November, but they've dropped their last 3 out of 4 against the spread. They're 7-4 this month. And then when it comes to the road games, they're 2-9 straight up, 6-5 against the spread. And when it comes to the over under, they've went under in 7 out of their 11 games this year. Now, when it comes to playing against the division, they're 0-2 against the division, against the spread and straight up. Now the Bulls are 7-4 against the spread and straight up in the month of November. They've won their last 4 out of 5 as well too. After starting the month off kind of slow. Then when it comes to over and unders, they've went under in 6 out of their 11 games this month. And then at home, they're 6-2 against the spread and straight up. But when it comes to over and unders, they went under in 6 out of their 8 games. And also, they're 2-0 against the spread and straight up versus the division. So the Bulls have things working out in their favor tonight. And I think that the Bulls, with the hot start that they had, they'll be chomping at the bit seeing a team like the Pacers coming in here tonight. And that means absolutely nothing because the Pacers did get a nice win over Utah last week as well, too. So you cannot sleep on the Pacers at all. They are actually getting it together. They're playing much better basketball than they did to start the year. So with that, we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out, and I'll have something good for you guys in a moment. All right, we have the Suns at the Spurs. The Suns coming to this game 13-3. The Spurs are 4-11. The Spurs have won the Suns have won 12 straight, and then they're 11-0 straight up in the month of November as well. And then when it comes to against the spread, they're 8-3 in November, and then when it comes to their road games, they're 5-1 straight up on the road, 4-2 against the spread, and they've went under in 5 out of 6 of their road games this year. Now, when it comes to playing the West, they are 11-3 straight up versus the West, and they've won their last 9 in a row as well too. Because you guys, people have to understand, Phoenix started the season off 1-3. All right, 1-3. Okay, I can't make that up. They started off the season 1-3. It is what it is at the end of the day, right? So they're playing really good basketball at this point, winning that was 12 games in a row, winning 12 in a row. So it is what it is, man. So pretty much they've beat the Western Conference up all month this month. They're 8-6 against the spread when it comes to the Western Conference, but they haven't covered the last 3 games against Western Conference teams. Now they've went under in 9 out of their 14 games against the Western Conference as well too. So the Suns looking like the best team in the league right now when you start looking at the numbers and everything like that. But will it hold? That's the question. All right, so then you have the Spurs right now coming in here 2-7 and straight up in the month of November. They've lost their last 4 in a row as well too. They're also 3-6 against the spread this month, and then they're 4-1 when it comes to the over under as well too. So pretty much they're even in that with a push. And then when it comes to being at home, they're 2-4 straight up, 3-3 against the spread. And then over unders, they are 5-0-1 this year. So pretty much they went over in each of their home games this year, and they had one push. Then you also have a team that's only won 1 game against the West this year. They're 1-9 straight up versus their conference. And then they're 4-6 against the spread versus the conference. And then when it comes to the over-under, they've went under in 5 out of their 9 games versus the conference. So the Spurs coming here could be a really, really, really tricky underdog for you tonight in this spot, in my opinion. I think that we really can find ourselves in a good way tonight. And the Spurs could possibly get themselves a good win. But I would suggest to scoreboard watch here. So there it is with the Suns at the Spurs tonight. This used to be a real good game when old Steve Nash was on the Suns and the Spurs still had the big 3 and everything like that. So, hey, I know they can't rekindle any memories or anything like that, but it should be a lot of fun tonight because you still got Pop a part of the equation for this game tonight. So should be fun. All right, so we move on and let's go ahead and get into our next game, which is going to be the nightcap tonight. That's going to be the Grizzlies and the Jazz tonight. And this one right here is a game that I like a lot. You have a Grizzlies team coming in here 8-8, Jazz are 11-5. Grizzlies 5-5 against the spread and straight up this month. Then when it comes to the over under, they've went under 6 out of 10, 6 in 6 of their 10 games this month. And the last 3 games have went over. Then when it comes to being on the road this month, not too good. 2-5 straight up, 3-4 against the spread. Then they've went under in 4 out of their 7 games on the road as well too. Now against the West, they're 7-5 straight up, 8-4 against the spread. And then when it comes to the over/under, they are even at 6-6. The Jazz coming to this month 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 when it comes to the over and under, meaning that they split it right down the middle. Now at home, they're 6-2 straight up and this is on the season as well too. And then against the spread, they're 5-3, and then they're even when it comes to over under at 4-4. And then when it comes to playing the Western Conference, they're 6-0 straight up, 5-1 against the spread, and then once again split on the over and under. So pretty much for every game that goes over, the next one goes under. That's kind of like how it's been for the Jazz all year. But with this, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make this my NBA dog of the day at plus 390 of all numbers. Like, seriously, this is a big number today that I'm playing. And I want it. And you know what? I held it up for a Monday. So let's see how it goes and let's see how it shakes out. But I do have that for you guys. So since I'm talking about it, let me go ahead and get you guys situated. So we do have Talkin Tickets. I'm over here getting it loaded up now for you guys as well too. So I really do like what I have in store for you guys tonight as well too. So I think you guys will like it as well too. There's a lot of good value going on too, and I'm trying to shake the apple cart a little bit tonight. You know what I mean? You know, we don't want to be too basic. So we got 4 bets in the NFL tonight, and then we're gonna do the regular 5-piece over here, the super high 5 for the NBA tonight. So I think we're gonna be into some really good stuff tonight because this ticket is really nice and I like it. And you're gonna like it too. So here it goes. All right, so up first, the Monday Night Football bets going plus 11 with the Giants tonight. We're gonna go under 26.5 in the first half tonight as well too. And then in the first quarter, we're going to take the Giants plus 210, okay? And then we're going to take the Bucks under 31 team total for the whole game. Now, when it comes down to the super high 5, what we're going to do here is we have the Wizards I have the Wizards winning this game straight up today. I'm not chasing spreads, anything of that nature. I'm just going to take the Wizards to win a very close game against a red-hot Hornets team. But the thing is, the Wizards are red-hot at home. So you got hot on hot, and I tend to lean towards the home team in this spot. Then we have the plus 11.5 with the Thunder as the big dog tonight, one of the biggest dogs of the night. But I think they do go ahead and cover for that game tonight. So I love the plus 11.5 for the Thunder. And then I have the Bulls minus 3 covering against the Pacers. I know that we could easily go ahead and just put another money line play in tack, but I think that the Bulls are good enough to cover the 3 points tonight against the Pacers. They're a very good home team. That's what I'm banking on. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we have the Suns and the Spurs. I'm going under 221, even though the Spurs have went over in each and every one of their home games this year. They're going against the Suns tonight. The Suns play really good defense. I think that what happens here is you most likely have the Suns get a big win tonight, but the game doesn't get anywhere near 221. So that's why I'm taking the under 221 in this spot. And then, as I said before, the dog of the day with the plus 390. Let's see if Ja Morant can get us home. And that's what I'm doing here. So let's see how it goes with the Grizzlies tonight with the plus 390. See if they can go ahead and get a big win over the Utah Jazz tonight. Anything is possible, as Kevin Garnett once said. So there it is. There it is. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best. And if you guys want to sign up for the Prime to be a primetime sports investor, you guys can hit me up on the Twitter at PopDiBiase, or you guys can email me at popdibiase@icloud.com, and I will go ahead and will heed your request. I will go ahead and take your request and see what we can do and see if you want to move forward and join the team. I have a great deal for the whole 2022, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And I also have an end of the year deal to give you guys a sample of what I'm capable of doing. So pretty much there it is. I thank you guys very much once again for tuning into the show today. Another epic one, and we'll have my man Jeff Dawson in here with us tomorrow. He was a little busy today with traffic and everything like that, but tomorrow we'll have him in talking UCLA, Gonzaga, talking Michigan, Ohio State for the game on Saturday, the CFP, and also talking some basketball and some NFL as well too. So you guys make sure to tune in. All right. So with that, this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. As I always say, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Always bet with your head, not with your heart. And the movement is moving. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production,